Ah, yes, the end of the week is here again. It's Friday here on the channel, and man, oh man, what a way to kick off the weekend with a look at this guy. It is the Transformers Legacy Blitzwing. It is a leader class, or is it? We're about to find out when we take a look at this guy in the latest GotBot True review. Hey one, hey all, welcome back to the channel. And I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and while you're at it, loud of my baby, hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton, and it lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that in the description down below. Also in the description down below, and if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course hit the join button right here on YouTube and become a channel member. I have heard people gush over this guy, and I have been saying all along, man, I'm struggling to see a leader class value. Let's kind of be real clear here. In Canada, this guy's $80, or all leaders, I should say, are $80. So that's the price you need to justify. It needs to have the traditional mass, right? You need to have that mass. It needs to have a higher parts count. It needs to have better paint. It needs to be top-notch engineering. It needs the whole thing, you know? If you want to charge a premium price, you need a premium product. Is this guy it? I agreed that I would take a risk, take a chance, because of what everyone has said. So without any further ado, how about we head over to the table and take a closer look at this guy. Now, I've never really been one to listen to my gut, mostly because my gut leads me astray more often than not. I was not expecting a whole lot from the Legacy Blitzwing. I wasn't a fan of the Astrotrain. Not that it was bad, it just wasn't the Astrotrain for me. I enjoyed the Thrilling 30. I did fix the shoulder, so let's kind of get that caveat out of the way right away. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can take the two parts of this guy apart, and really what you're doing is sanding down like inside the body in here. You put it back together, and guess what? Like, this shoulder is solid as solid gets. So is this one. If anything, they might be slightly too solid because the outward movement is also super solid. I probably should loosen the screw on the back. So for people that pan on the generations, keep in mind that for me, I fixed the shoulder, so that's a non-issue. People have said that the paint gunks up and the face swap gimmick doesn't work. Again, mine works fine. There is no paint gunk up, there's no paint scraping. I will say this, the robot mode here is a bit rough because of the proportion of the thigh to the lower leg. The plane mode still has a lot of bulky junk on it, so it's not the strongest plane mode. Of all of the Blitzwings, I like his tank mode the best. I'm going to say that now. I like his tank mode the best. Then we have the Titan's Return one down on the far end. I did a ton of work. I mixed a brown umber with white to get the kind of beige color that he is, to paint his barrel up here and the wings down here. I used a lot of purple on his forearms, and I put a purple line up here, and I used purple on his feet, and I used silver on his face. I think that this one has the best face sculpt. I can't say head sculpt, but the best face sculpt, and I think a pretty great robot mode. I wish it had a waist. That's the only weakness to the robot mode here for me. Some people have said waist and ankle tilt would be nice. Now, to be fair, this guy at a package for me, both of his arms fell off. Both pins came out. I put them on back in 2017. His arms have not fallen off since. I think his tank mode is pretty good, though it's unfortunate that you couldn't fold up and wrap up the wings of the plane a little bit better. The robot mode is tremendous. The plane mode is the best of the three. The plane mode of the Titan's Return, clearly the best. I'm tempted to say that I think the robot mode of the Titan's Return is the best. We'll see as we dive into this guy. Now, I'm not going through all the transformations to show all of them in tank mode and in plane mode. We all know what they look like. They have been shown on numerous reviews. I will reference, though, the robot mode when we get there. So, we're going to take the other two versions of Blitzwing out of it and focus on the packaging first. And this is the Legacy Blitzwing packaging. We have Blitzwing here in all of his stature and glory. In tank mode down here with those goofy, idiotic, hand cannon-y things, I guess. Over here we have him in his plane mode. Again, you're just looking at the top of it because if you look at it from any other angle, it fails miserably. Tank down here, it's too bad. No, I'll wait. I'll talk about it when we get there. Over here we have our normal Decepticon artwork, and we have all three modes back here. I'm probably not going to do necessarily all the things with these hand things because I think they're an absolute waste of plastic and space, and there was no need to have them. Huge, gigantic, two-sided set of instructions. They're useful. They're not perfect, but they definitely are useful. We have not one, but two of these beautiful purple blasters. Worthless, useless hand thing accessories made out of this translucent junk. This was a very sad, feeble attempt to try and give this thing a leader class price point when it really doesn't deserve it. And of all three versions of mainline Blitzwing, I would think that this would have been the best sword. This is the worst. It's made out of this bendy, soft, rubbery garbage plastic. It feels tacky. The silver paint feels tacky to the touch. To me, I like nothing about this. And here we have Blitzwing, the way he comes out of package in his tank mode. I did put the sword on the top. I mean, you can do it if you're so inclined. You can put a blaster on this side and one on the other side again if you're so inclined. These things, what we have is a little rectangular slot right here on the actual turret piece, and a little rectangular peg right here on the turret piece, and a little rectangular slot right there that it goes in. You do have to transform the hands basically by parts forming. So you take, if I can get it out now, there. So you take this piece back out. What we have is a slot in the top of the, I'm calling it a hand, but it's really more blasters. We have a peg up here, but the way they come in package is this peg hole and the peg on the back of the hand are like that. So, you know, the turret does move all the way around. So if you had these things on, they would move with it. They don't like, at least on my copy, to stay on. So, like, again, you have this useless waste of an accessory, waste of plastic, and it doesn't even really stay on. I don't know. It's not for me. Maybe it's for you. I don't know. If we take this off and get rid of it, we can see that the turret does go up. That's nice. That's a nice feature. I like that. We're going to take these off the side. Now, I've heard a lot of people say, that is an excellent tank. It's just like the show. This is nothing like the show. I don't know what show you've been watching, but this is nothing like it. The one closest to the show would be the Titan's Return, but that's still not close to the show. So let me explain why I say this. So this up here, this turret piece, yeah, that's like the show for sure. Then we get to the, I'll say the body of the tank. This is the way that it was presented in the program, with the nose cone being the front of the tank. This nose cone sticks out a bit too far, but the nose cone should be there. By rights, if you look at Diaclone, this is the way the tank is supposed to be, but I don't think anybody is actually going to do that. That being the case, now that we're in this body, there are some big issues. First, instead of having red for like the cockpit and stuff, all of that should be blue. This whole section here, all of this chest that's here, I get why it's there. I get the way the transformation goes. I understand why it's purple. It should be beige. It's all of this part of the tank totally wrong. 100% wrong. Then we get to the side. The side doesn't have anything down over any of the treads. You're able to see the entire tread all the way around. And inside, though there's no color here, it's just all black. Inside, the tread should be purple with beige detailing. So a ton of paint missed there. And I'm sorry, but for a leader class price point, all of that paint on the treads should have been done. No excuse to not have it done as far as I'm concerned. You know, don't include this garbage. Put on the extra paint. So it's an acceptable tank. I don't think any of the 3 tanks are accurate to animation. None of them. But I think the closest one to animation accurate is going to have to go to the Titan's Return. Okay, so I think we've exhausted what we can say about the tank. Let's get into the transformation. We're going to go to the plane mode first, and we'll see how this goes. I can tell you now, I have tried to film this a couple of times and it hasn't gone well. I don't think this is a good transformation or engineered well, at least in terms of going to the plane. So let's try and do it though. We're going to open up the back here. We're going to flip that up and close that in. We're going to come to the side and we're going to flip that back. We're going to come to the side over here and flip that one back as well. And then I think these just go down on the side for now. I think they just go down on the side, at least for now. Then we will lift up the sides here. There's a purple peg in here, and there's a rectangular slot up here that goes over the purple peg way in right there. And then we're going to kind of bring these in. There's a rectangular tab up here that kind of goes into a slot back here. So we're going to bring that up, and we're going to bring that up. Man, it's already looking pretty ugly, isn't it? At least I think it is. I don't think it's looking good. We're going to pick off, because it's just easier to do it this way, all of that for now. All of that I know is loose and just hanging there, and that's really what it's going to do later on too. It's pretty gross. We're going to take these and flip them up on the legs. We're going to split the legs so that we can unfurl the wing all the way from the inside and unfurl the wing all the way from the inside on the other side. And now you can put these together. By the way, I'll mention it now in case I forget to mention it later when I put all of the bits and pieces on, because I'm not going to do that right now. But to put the 2 hands, those Hulk hand things back here, you basically open up the toes or open up the feet and you use the 5mm pegs on the bottom. Just so you know, because I'm probably going to forget to mention it. So we settle all of that for now. You'll also notice that we have little purple pegs back here. There's little rectangular ports right there that will go up over those pegs. But we'll get to that in a little bit. Let's go to the nose cone and get that done. So we open up the bottom of the nose cone, and now we have to get this actual nose piece out. And it's, man, is it tight. I'm after scraping this several times. I ended up finding a way to kind of finesse it so I don't scrape it. I painted it a few times. But, that tolerance is awful. Awful, awful, awful. Straighten those up a little bit more. We're going to take the arms now, and they come down on the side. And this is really where I think a lot of the problems for this mold in terms of going to plane come in, at least on my copy. So we have to unpeg the whole thing, and it all comes down underneath. And now the peg that's there will ideally go over a rectangular tab right here. I don't find it always likes to tab on over it. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So it's a little hit or miss, and it's very tight. Arguably scary tight. Okay, that time I actually got them in. Nice! Because the other times that I've attempted this transformation on camera, I have not gotten them in. Then we will now try and solidify the bottom here. We're going to take this and bring it back. When we bring the turret section back, you'll notice there's 2 little rectangular ports in here, and there's 2 little nubs down here. So it is supposed to tab in there. I don't find it stays particularly well personally. Put that there. Then we will try now, if I can do it, to, what do I have done? I believe I'm supposed to have these turned around. My mistake. I'm pretty sure that they're supposed to go around the back. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're supposed to go around the back. Although that being said, then you're exposing more of the arm. I don't know if I really want to do that. I'm going to put this piece up. I'm going to put this piece up. Oh my goodness. The legs came undone. The wings aren't straight. I forgot to pull down this, which is... Oh my goodness. You see, like... I don't know. This isn't... I don't think this is engineered well at all. I think this is awful, honestly. Do these turn? I gotta double check here now. I feel like they do. I feel like... Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Yeah. I'm going to kind of double check a couple of the things here with the arms and whatnot. I'm going to solidify getting this together, but this is basically it. I mean, the wings don't like to stay straight. I know I got down here incorrect at the moment. I'll fix it up. Some people like to turn this around and have it face forward. I find if you do that it knocks into the landing gear, but that's up to you. But what I'll do is solidify everything here. But basically, boom, this is the guy in plane mode. I wish, honestly, I wish something was done with all of this. All of this is a failure. Everything from this armature down, all of this is a failure for plane mode. It should have been handled infinitely better. The rest of it is just a matter of me not having stuff tabbed in properly. So like from the top, yeah, I guess it's okay, but this really ruins it. Like I said, we'll talk about it more when I get everything solidified and we get all of the bits and pieces on him. My apologies, I wasn't wrong. I didn't need to turn those pieces around on the arm at all. It just doesn't like to lock in and solidify. But I will explain it here now. There's a rectangular little tab nub here that goes into a slot up here. Same on the other side, goes into a slot right there. And then we have these two little rectangular like nubs down here, I think it is. No, sorry, these slots right here, not these nubs. These slots right here, these rectangular slots right here that are almost off screen, they come down and go over the purple pieces down here. Okay, so now I'm gonna lock it in and we'll see it with everything on it. And boom, after many minutes of fighting, I finally have things kind of pegged together here. I don't find anything holds very well in this mode. This is atrocious. I don't think it looks... These need to go. Oh man, these are so... They're offensive. The fact that was even included as an apparent feature is, to me, as a Transformers fan, offensive. They're so bad. This is awful. Getting here is awful. It doesn't look good. It doesn't feel good. It's not aerodynamic. If anybody likes this or think it's even passable, don't ever open your mouth about Titan's Return Broadside's chunky plane mode, because that's infinitely better than this. Of all three, easily this is the worst plane mode. I hate everything about it. I hate the transformation getting here. I hate the look of it. This is scraped up a lot and has been repainted a bunch of times. Nothing looks good on it. The wings don't stay really where I put them. They feel gummy and almost like soft rubbery plastic to me as well. This is terrible. Let's go to robot mode, because so far the tank is inaccurate, the plane is inaccurate. Everybody says the robot mode is where the glory is. So let's see. I'll give a chance to go to robot mode from here. So I'm going to open that leg out and bring it down. I'm going to open that leg out and bring it down. Why not? It's not like anything likes to stay tabbed on this anyway. We're going to take the backpack off. We're going to take these arms back up. We're going to flip out a hand. We're going to rotate the whole thing around on the forearm and flip that in. Again, we're going to rotate a hand out. We're going to take this down. We're going to rotate the whole thing on the forearm and bring this up on the inside of the forearm. What do we do next? Let's open out this piece and nope, that's wrong. let's open out this piece, the bottom part of the cockpit, and fold that kind of back in and close it up. Let's pick off all of that chest and stuff and bring the head up. We're going to bring this chest piece back up. We're going to close down that landing gear. We're going to take this entire backpack section, and all of this is going to come up and over the top of the guy. We're going to bring these arms up, and there's a purple tab in here. We're going to tab the arms on over the purple tabs. We're going to bring this down and tab it onto the chest. We're going to bring this down on the back. Make sure that these are in. We're going to bring out this little fake wing, this little fake wing. Then we get to the legs. The legs are interesting and a little bit bonkers, really, because you need it to be really, really perfect in order to do it. We're going to fold down those little pieces there. We're going to fold back the tail section there. We're going to open out these thrusters because the thrusters are what becomes the feet. Then you need to bring like the leg all the way. How is it this is done? The whole thing, there you go, needs to come down, and there is a tab that goes into a slot in here. It is tight to get there. This comes around on the side, around to the back, and in on the inside of the leg. I do like the way that that folds around. Why they didn't do that with the back wings of Earthrise Starscream, I don't know. Similar sort of idea. This can come out on the side of the foot. This can come out on the side of the foot. Again, we have to make sure that the leg tabs in. Go around to here on the back, and then that on the side. And boom, I'm going to stand him up, but here we have Blitzwing in his robot mode. Our boy clocks in at a measly, pathetic 260 grams, nowhere close to the traditional 325 to 328 grams used for leader class. It's nowhere close to being a leader class. It's definitely more than a Voyager, but it's nowhere close to a leader class. Right now, I'm feeling about a value here of maybe $50, $52 Canadian, about $40 US. If you pay more than $40 US for this, you're getting scammed and fleeced. It's not worth 50 or 55 or whatever a leader class price is down there. It's acceptable for 40 so far. These things are useless and worthless. They shouldn't have been in there. Take those out and sell this thing as a Voyager because that's what it is. But I think at the end of the day, most fans are going to have him looking something like this. Yes, I have his sword over on his arm, a blaster in his hand, and I have the other blaster on his back. The transformations are clunky, cumbersome. Going to tank is great, going to robot is great, going to plane, and then the final result of the plane is garbage. It's the most poorly engineered plane that I could possibly think of. I'm going to give the transformation, because it works okay two ways, but not the third really, I'm going to give it a 7. I'm going to give it a 7. I don't enjoy it, and I don't feel rewarded for doing it. Yeah, a 7. I am impressed though that with his gigantic backpack that he's able to stand as well as he does. What about the articulation? Well, the articulation, we have a head that goes left, right, up, down. Very nice head. I believe it's a ball joint into a hinge. I don't know why there seems to be a line across the visor of his eyes. I do find the visor too big. The arms can go out to the side all the way. They can't go back at all. Bummer. Can go forward, but then you kind of get it caught up on this thing. Let's say you push that forward. Cool. You can get it all the way forward. And I asked people a couple of weeks ago on GotBot Goes Live if when his arm is forward, can he still get his elbow to 90 degrees? Dude can't get his arm all the way forward first. And no, it can't get to 90 degrees. It gets to maybe 85 degrees. I don't like that. We have a bicep swivel. You can get a little over 90 degrees if you don't have it straight out in front of them. Wrist swivel, that's nice. Waist, that's the big addition here is waist. Very, very big addition here. Legs, I mean, pretty much full splits. I mean, all you'd want. They can go, do they go back? Not really, not much back. All the way forward, thigh swivel, knee is a bit over 90 degrees. Ankle tilt all the way in, toe forward and back. It has a lot, but the backpack limits the backward movement of the arms and the legs and makes that cumbersome. But compared to the other two, this guy definitely has the most points of articulation. Whether they're executed the best, that's a different story, but the most points. Yes, you can definitely get some great dynamic poses. As a stop motion animator, making this guy fall back might be a bit of a challenge. I'm going to say for his articulation, the tank rolls beautifully, and I love the way the turret works. The plane is abysmal, again, but the plane doesn't really need articulation. I'm going to say the articulation overall is a 9. I'm going to say it's a 9, but you got to understand that that's a 9 with the realization that the arms can't go back and the legs can't go back, right? So we have a 7 and a 9, so right now the guy's getting an 8. What about the coloration of the guy? Well, that's when we kind of bring in the other two. Ironically, the new leader class is the tiniest because it's not a leader class, it's a voyager. Let's not make any mistake about that. And before anybody says anything about number of parts and points of articulation, blah, 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 it's not enough to make this thing a leader. I'm sorry. You got to understand too that for me in Canada, I have to justify spending $80 on this. And I took a chance because everybody has, said this guy is amazing. It's not. It's okay. Let's talk about that coloration for the robot. That's the main thing. Starting from the feet and going up. The feet should be purple with kind of beigeish wings on the side. This one's purple with silver wings on the side. To be fair, I painted the wings beige on the Titan's Return, so they weren't accurate either. The shins are purple. The upper legs should be silver or white. Again, I think that the legs of the Titan's Return are the most accurate, but I'm okay with the silver. I like the look of it on the new one. And honestly, they use the silver like right up the body and in the face, so it is consistent. So if the animation, the white that's used there is supposed to be silver, then the Legacy does match it. When we get to the pelvis here, where the hip skirts are, all that should be purple. There shouldn't be silver squares on it. The abdomen should be that silvery color. The chest should be all purple. The yellow is correct. The red is correct. The silver on the sides of the chest, not correct. The most accurate chest is the Titan's Return. The face should be silver with a red visor and a little red dot on the upper head. This guy has a gray face in the visor. The Titan's Return had a purple face that I had to paint. Stock Titan's Return looks the most like the toy, not the animation. This guy's the most stylized, no doubt about it. For mainline releases, I would still say that the Takara Legends version is probably the most accurate, but for what we have here in, say, North America, yes, the Legacy is the most accurate version. It's not perfect, but the Legacy is, I'm gonna say it's a solid, right down to the beige piece up here, even the black treads and the purple wings. I'm gonna say that the Legacy there is a 9. He was getting an 8. Overall, the Legacy is about an 8.5. He's quite good. My only problem is I spent $30 here. It's bigger, and with a simple fix, all three of his modes are serviceable. I would easily say that the face swap gimmick was really neat here. If it works, then it's a winner. And his strongest mode, tank. I still think it's the strongest tank out of all three, for me. Though I think the second strongest tank, strongest tank is here. Though I think the second strongest tank is here. I think this one has the weakest tank. In terms of accuracy, it's a great tank, it rolls beautifully, but in terms of accuracy, this is the weakest tank. Plane, Titan's Return, clearly the best plane. Clearly. This is a cumbersome plane, this is an atrocious plane. Robot, this is the most accurate, but it's also the smallest. I feel like that for overall version of the character, the Titan's Return is the best as an overall package. I think the Titan's Return is still the champion to beat. But I understand if you like this one. The Legacy, I would say overall is about an 8.5. He is quite good. I don't think he's worth 55 US. I certainly don't think he's anywhere close to being worth 80 Canadian. I heard of somebody getting him for 45 Canadian. If you can do that, he's totally 100% worth that. And here we are, and here he is. I don't understand. Anybody who's gushing over this must be a new collector, because it's not very good. It's really, really not. The Generations was better. A lot of people will say, yeah, but the arms on, or the shoulders on that don't tab in, they're junk. You can fix that in less than 5 minutes. If I can do it, literally anybody can do it. I'm not good with tools at all. I'm not a tools guy in the least. If I could do it, you 100% could do it. But that doesn't mean that the story's all bad. So let's talk about what is good and what is bad. Let's get the bad out of the way and kind of end on a high note. This plane mode is atrocious and I think pretty unforgivable. There's all of this down here didn't need to be there. It's just something better needed to be done with the engineering to the plane. I don't find that the wings like to stay straight. They feel much like the sword. They feel, and I don't know if they are, but they feel it on mine. They feel, no, it's hard plastic, but it feels like soft plastic. The yellow is applied very nicely, but mine feels a little bit gummy. The sword is an abysmal failure. The purple is a nice deep purple. I do like this kind of beige better than the Titan's Return beige. This is more of the beige of the Generations one. So I do like that. I think the transformation from tank to robot, robot to tank is pretty great. I think that that's very nice, well done. The failure, the biggest failure of this mold is the plane and everything that has to do with the plane and everything that had to be compromised to make the plane happen. It's like the designers really didn't know how to design a triple changer. They knew how to do a transformer and it was like, oh, let's just squeeze some stuff and try and call it a plane and well, call it good, because they really don't know what they're doing. Like, that's how it comes across to me. Now, for the bad. I see here a value in Canada of maybe $50, $52. I see a value here in the US of $40. I don't know what a liter goes for down there. $55, $50, I don't know. But I see 40 US is a good price for this. The canopy should have been blue. Something should have been done with this underneath. I don't understand why they designed this such that the arms can't move back in robot mode. The legs can't move back in robot mode. The arm, when you put it like forward like this, can't really bend up all the way like it's supposed to. I find that's a bummer. The head is nice, but I think the visor is too big, and I don't know why there's like a line going across the visor. I find that very jarring. But I'm not going to say it's bad. Also, it's only a pathetic 256 grams. And I say pathetic because in terms of a liter class, that's a pathetic amount. I think too much mass was given up. I think the paint that was done is nice, but I don't feel like it cured that well. The robot's okay, but it's way too small. Way too small. There's such a mixed bag of good and bad here. If you've never had another Blitzwing and you get this one, I understand why you would be happy with it. If you have an earlier Blitzwing and you've been on the fence about this one, go with your gut. Stick with your earlier Blitzwing. I think you're going to be happier. It's not an abysmal failure, but it's still a failure for the full asking price. Is it something that like is not worth getting? No, it's worth getting. It absolutely is worth getting. It's not bad, but that's the problem. It's just not bad. Which means for something that's just not bad, I need, I need a lower price. It's as simple as that. I think the best tank is the Titan's Return, even though that has its issues as well. But I think for accuracy, that's the best tank. I think best plane, best tank, goes to the Generations, even though it's stylized for me. Best tank, or best plane goes to the Titan's Return. And I think for general look, this is the best robot, but I think the best head sculpt and the best scale is the Titan's Return. So that's kind of where I am. Let me know what you think about Legacy Blitzwing. What a mixed bag. What a weirdo this guy is. Is he your top notch or not so much? Or do you attribute different things to different molds? Anyway, I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link, check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course, hit the join button right here on YouTube and become a channel member. Don't forget, to hit the subscribe button. Stick around, man. Have some fun with us here on the channel. Also, don't forget that somehow, some way, each and every single solitary day, you right there, you do make a difference. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres or the old fashioned way, right here inside the videos.